So, have you ever been there? You get put on the spot and your mind just goes completely blank. Well, today we are going to tackle that exact moment. We're going to learn a really simple but powerful technique to turn that little flicker of panic into a moment of genuine power. This is all about turning that anxiety into authority.
You know that feeling, don't you? An unexpected question lands in a high-stakes meeting and boom, your brain hits the panic button. Look, that's a completely normal, totally human response. The secret isn't pretending you don't feel it, it's about having a trusted tool ready to go for when you do. It's like a dozen browser tabs just explode open in your mind, all at once. You're scrambling, trying to find the perfect word, the right statistic, and what ends up coming out is, well, a bit of a ramble. And that just leaves you feeling shaky and maybe a little less competent than you know you are. Together, we're going to close all those tabs and focus on one single, clear path forward.
Okay, here's our game plan for this session. First, we'll unpack that panic response. Then, I'm going to show you how a simple structure can become your anchor. We'll get hands-on with the 3-2-1 tool itself, apply it to some real-world scenarios, work on projecting authority, and then wrap up with a daily practice plan. This roadmap right here, this is our first step toward clarity.
So, let's start right there with that feeling of panic. It is so important to understand that your brain's default to rambling is not some personal flaw. Not at all. It's actually a survival instinct kicking in. But it's an instinct that we can absolutely retrain. This slide really just gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the anxious brain, just lost in fog and panic. But on the other, a brain that's using a framework finds clarity and confidence. And here's the real key, the big secret. The antidote for speaking anxiety isn't trying to memorize more information. No, it's having a reliable structure to organize what you already know.
And that brings us right to the solution. I want you to think of structure as your anchor in a storm. You know, when the winds of a tough question start blowing, a framework is what holds you steady. It replaces that feeling of fear with immediate intentional focus.
I love this idea from Ving Zhang. He says, when you don't have a plan, you fall back on your old habits. And for a lot of us, that's rambling. But when you have a framework, you fall back on that instead. It becomes your new, much more powerful default behavior when you're under pressure.
So let's get that tool into your hands. It's called the 3-2-1 framework. And trust me, it's incredibly simple, it's easy to remember, and it's something you can literally start using the moment this explainer is over.
To put it simply, the 3-2-1 is just a method for organizing your thoughts on the fly. It forces you to be clear and concise, which is exactly what senior leaders are looking for. Honestly, it's a power move that signals decisiveness.
Okay, here's how it works. You have 3 paths you can choose from. You can structure your answer around 3 steps, or maybe 2 different types or ways of doing something, or you can talk about one single most important thing. Now, the crucial point here is you don't use all 3. You just pick one clear path and stick to it.
To see how this actually stops your brain from spiraling, let's try it out with a completely random topic. Let's say someone asks you about avocados. Now, instead of your mind racing, are they a fruit? Should I talk about guacamole? What about the healthy fats? You just pick a path.
With the framework, you've got these clear options. You could say, you know, the one thing to know about avocados is that they're incredible on a keto diet. Or, well, there are 2 main ways people enjoy them, smashed on toast or just eaten like a fruit. Or even, there are 3 simple steps to prepare it. You cut it, you mash it, and you season it. It really is that simple. Any one of those is a clear, confident answer. You've given your brain guardrails, and that prevents it from wandering off into panic.
All right, let's move on from avocados and into the boardroom. This is where the 3-2-1 framework really becomes your secret weapon. You know when the stakes are high and all eyes are on you?
Let's run through some common situations. Imagine someone asks for a project update. You could use the 3 steps path. For our travel initiative, there are 3 steps. First we plan it, then we book it, then we go. Simple. For performance feedback, you might use 2 types. I have 2 types of feedback. First on the regional impact with our local team, and second on the international impact for the global business. And what about for that sharp, aggressive question that's designed to throw you off? You just calmly focus on the one thing. The one magnificent thing about this new policy is the flexibility it gives our team. It's pretty amazing how quickly you can formulate an answer when you're not trying to write a whole essay in your head, isn't it? You're just choosing a pre-built path. Plan it, book it, go. This framework is truly built for speed and for clarity under fire.
Now, having the right words, that's half the battle. The other half is all about how you deliver them.
The confidence you gain from the framework needs to show up in your physical presence, because how you show up really matters.
This slide just captures that transformation perfectly. When you feel unprepared, your body language often shrinks. You might avoid eye contact. But when you have a framework, you feel ready. Your posture changes, you lean in. You actually become excited to communicate because you know you have something clear and valuable to contribute.
So let's build on that. Stand or sit tall, shoulders back with open posture. Maintain a steady, calm gaze with the person you're speaking to. Use your hands to physically count out your points. There are 3 steps: 1, 2, 3. Speak at a relaxed, confident pace. And please, don't be afraid of silence. A little pause before you answer signals thought, not panic.
You know, like any skill, this just gets stronger with practice. We need to build the micro habit of structured thinking so that it becomes your automatic go-to response whenever you're under pressure.
So here's a simple drill you can do every single day. And I promise it takes less than 5 minutes, but the payoff in your confidence and your clarity during meetings is going to be enormous. This is how you build that muscle memory. Just look around you right now. Pick an object, a stapler, a water bottle, a plant, anything. Give yourself just 3 seconds to pick a path, 3, 2, or 1, and then say your structured thought out loud. For that bottle, the one key thing about this bottle is that it helps me stay hydrated. That's it. Do this with 5 different objects every morning.
And why do we practice this? Because when you speak with this kind of clarity, especially under pressure, you are signaling something really powerful to everyone in that room. You're signaling decisiveness. You are signaling leadership potential. And this is how you get noticed for all the right reasons.
And this brings us right back to the core transformation we're aiming for. It's that shift from being scared to communicate to being genuinely excited to share your ideas. That is the power of being prepared, not with some pre-written script, but with a reliable structure you can always count on. You have the tool now. It's simple, it's effective, and it is yours to master. So really, the only question left is, how will you use it to make your voice heard?